Hello and welcome to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and realize you are creative abundance. Stop undermining your inspiration. This is what I wanted to say today. Stop undermining your inspiration. Inspiration occurs more frequently than you may imagine. It is a gift. It is natural to us. It comes to us. It comes through us from beyond, from our unconsciousness, from source, from creation, from the divine, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe it is. Inspiration stems from that. It comes from we don't know where, or we cannot name it, but it comes. And the fact of being inspired is true. We can feel it. We sense it, right? We feel inspired by something we see, by something we hear or taste or touch or smell, an idea. It's not limited to our senses, right? It can come, it just can come like a bolt of lightning. It just occurs to us. And suddenly we are so enthralled by an experience, by a vision we're having, by this rush of energy. We're motivated then by this need to make something of this energy that is riding us, that is flowing through us. And this, I say, is the gift, this inspiration, this ability that we have to feel alive, to be so taken by something that we see, that we want to communicate that beauty, that love, that energy. We want to communicate it. We want to make of it. But we don't always do that. We generate this sometimes, or we just feel it naturally sometimes. But we can't always give ourselves over to it. But we can practice being more present with it by being more, we can honor it more. We can court it through our practice, through our devotion. When we are present, we open our hearts and our minds to the world, to what is in front of us, to just sitting down and being present with ourselves and feeling this flow of energy. We soon discover that inspiration is frequently, if not always, given. It shows up when we show up. We just have to be present and prepared and open to receive, to accepting the gift, to accepting whatever it is that comes, that little flutter of energy, that little delight that fills us, and to honor that, and to then care to share it. We are so accustomed, though, to killing the inspiration when it comes. We have this habit, where we can develop the habit of refusing it, or neglecting it, or diminishing it, of, that's not a great idea, or I don't have time right now, or I don't have the energy, I'm feeling tired right now, or there are numerous things that we do to kind of crush the inspiration when it comes, to shut it down before it has a chance to even be revealed in us. Before we've even opened the gift or explored it, played with it, we've discounted it. Say that you are inspired by something and you want to write a poem. Or maybe you're inspired one day that you decide, I want to run a marathon, or I want to take a trip around the world. Whatever it is, this kind of energy moves into you. You have an idea, you have this rush of adrenaline, and before you take a single action on behalf of it, before you do anything, you say, I can't do that. I don't have time right now, or I'm not a writer, or the last time I wrote it was really horrible, or I could never run 26.2 miles, right? We don't honor the gift of inspiration. We undermine it. Now, I'm not saying that everything we feel or every time we get a jolt of inspiration that we have to do something with it, that we have to act upon it, we have to carry out every idea to the nth degree. But I am saying, look at the habit of undermining your inspiration, of kind of suppressing your joy, your desire, your care to share something with this kind of negativity, this negative thinking, or inaction. Inaction stems from this belief that we can't do something or the fear that we will fail in doing it. I know in my own life, there have been many, many instances when I have not honored what inspires me. In fact, I went years when I didn't write because I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to fail. I was shutting down inspiration, but it was still coming. It came all the time, but I just didn't do anything with it. And because I didn't do anything with it, I was often frustrated and angry. I felt defeated. But then one day I did. And when I did, this changed my life. Inspiration is a gift. It is a divine blessing. And when we finally allow ourselves to act, to do what we feel compelled to do, despite our fear, despite our resistance, despite feeling tired, despite all of the excuses, when we dive into the current of creativity, we will be delighted to see how far it carries us. It will carry you beyond the limits of your imagination. I know for me, when I finally dove in, when I finally gave in and was inspired and acted on my inspiration, I created what I didn't even know I was capable of creating. I had wanted to write a book for years. I had fits and starts I worked on it, but when I finally committed to working on that book, I published that book within a year. That's how powerful this follow-through on our inspiration can be. Not only that, but I started a literary arts center, and I found myself within a very short time belonging and creating and curating this writing community that I was lacking in my life, but that I had always sincerely desired to have. But I was afraid of taking the steps to make it. But I felt that inspiration to create it. And when I finally did, it happened very quickly and very naturally. Our creative practice, our life practice, is to say yes to inspiration. Of course, as I mentioned before, we can't say yes to everything, but we certainly can say yes to more than we do. We can be more conscious of the inspiration that is moving in us and what we are doing with that inspiration. Are we honoring it, or are we suppressing it? Are we shutting it down? Are we making excuses and not allowing ourselves to make with it? And in turn, for our lives to be made by it. Does that sound silly? That our lives can be made by what inspires us? We are an integral part of creation. Creation, I believe, uses us to flow. It flows through us and into the world. To flow into the world, it has to move us. It has to inspire us to be vehicles for it, to enact it. You might say that we are the inspiration of inspiration. And the more open we are, the more we breathe with creation, the more we breathe with it, the more abundantly creation flows in us and out of us, in us and out of us. It takes a little effort on our part. We have to act. That is the important thing. That is how we honor it, to enact it. We have to lift ourselves. And it's not always easy, I know. Sometimes we really have no desire to do it. We don't feel like we have energy, but we have to will ourselves on. And that's why having a devoted practice, something that we try to do daily, that we apply ourselves to daily, helps to move this inspiration in us and through us. We have to maybe force ourselves to keep going, to be a little bit disciplined with ourselves, to be a little bit rigorous. And it's okay, because part of building a devoted practice is showing up even when we feel horrible, even when we don't feel very inspired at all, and when we want to quit. We show up. And guess what? You discover that showing up invites new inspiration. And showing up, there are breakthroughs, there are new ideas, there are things you haven't dreamed of yet. You felt so tired, but there is inspiration. It's moving. It's moving. And you are moving your dream, your vision. When you work, you are moving it forward just another step. Just please don't ignore what is inspiring you. Honor the energy that is moving in you. Make with it, and you will make for yourself a very beautiful life. Thank you for watching. I hope you write deeply today. I know that you will write beautifully because what you are is beautiful. Blessings.